Hey, you! Yeah, you. Do you like The Legend of Zelda? Do you like games where you beat up hordes of enemies at once? More specifically Dynasty Warriors? Oh boy, do I have the game for you. When Hyrule Warriors was first announced, all I could think was, wow, what is Dynasty Warriors? Apparently it's a game like this. This is the furthest you could possibly be from Zelda. As more and more of the game got revealed, I was cautiously optimistic. Even back then, I was a huge Zelda fan, and this was the closest we were gonna get to a new game for a while. I wasn't sure if I would even like this kind of game where you button match your way through hordes of enemies. Then I got the game for Christmas that year, and I loved it so much that I actually considered buying the DLC before even finishing it. Although I never did buy the DLC, it still ended up being one of my favorite Wii U games. I even played through it a second time a year later, and surprise, I hated it. Really? Nah, totally kidding, I still loved it. Then the game got a 3DS version with not only all the Wii U content, but even more new content. I was totally on board with this, but the 3DS version ran at about 20 FPS, and there were even less enemies on screen. I ended up just ignoring Legends entirely. The worst graphics and performance didn't really feel that appealing to me despite having more content. You were able to buy the new characters for the Wii U version, but not the new levels and adventure maps, which is what I was actually interested in. So Hyrule Warriors was in a weird state. Either you get the Wii U version with better performance and graphics, or you get the 3DS version which ran at 20 FPS but has a lot more content. There wasn't really a best version to play. Sounds like prime Switch port material. I was pumped for the definitive edition. After loving it on Wii U, there was so much more content that I didn't get to experience from the DLC and Legends. Now I'm finally able to play all this extra content without having to suffer from worse performance. Alright, let's get into why I love this game so much. Zelda keeps having dreams about impending darkness, as one does. So that means Hyrule is about to go through dark times. Obviously. Wait, does Impa just stand in Zelda's bedroom like this all night? I get that you're Zelda's bodyguard, but can I just point out how incredibly creepy that is? Did she just stand there all night like that? Sleeping in the same room isn't weird or anything, but oh my god, Impa. Please go about this in a less creepy way. Impa's creepery aside, looks like it's time to go looking for the reborn hero of legend. They conveniently find him sparring with other guards in the courtyard like 10 minutes later. We will find no fully realized heroes here. Oh, really, Impa? Because one of your soldiers just did this. I think this is a great place to start looking. At least Zelda sees through Impa's BS. Like, seriously, Impa, you are a very weird character in this game. Suddenly, a horde of monsters are approaching Hyrule Castle. Time to defend the castle. Oh, they look scary. For some reason. Link's one of the trainees, doesn't get to fight yet. At least he's not supposed to. He takes a sword anyway, and no one else seems to care other than this one random guard. I guess the royal guard's too preoccupied with the impending army to really care, but why is this one random trainee the only one to question this? If it were me, I'd just be like, yo, good luck, dumbass. Impa's probably regretting not looking in the training room now, because Link can do this. Like, immediately. After running into one of the villains, Link is even showing the Triforce of Courage already. After fending off the invaders, Zelda goes missing. Great. Not only that, but Hyrule Castle is taken over anyway. A few weeks later, Impa hears a rumor of a resistance hiding out in Faron Woods. Their leader is supposedly a young woman. Yes, Zelda does fit that description, let's go check it out! On the way to Faron Woods, they run into a woman named Sheik. The princess isn't dead? I wonder why? Sheik and Zelda have the same eye color, same hair color, same hairstyle, same facial structure. Who could this mysterious woman possibly be? Does anyone actually care that I spoil Ocarina of Time? It's almost 20 years old now. Seriously, have you even played Smash Brothers? It's such a weird thing that they play off Sheik like, who is this mysterious woman? When they did this exact thing in Ocarina of Time, which is the only game Sheik is actually in. Everyone who's playing this game knows that Sheik is obviously Link from the adult timeline. Come on, Koei Tecmo, you're better than this. There was even an arc in the game where Sheik and Impa are alone together, and Impa just can't trust Sheik, and they find an evil Zelda. Then Sheik's just like, oh, that can't be Zelda, I am Zelda! This is such a weird story beat. Everyone playing this game knows who Sheik is. Why even pretend like we don't? Anyway, Sheik joins up with Link and Impa, and they finally make it to Faron Woods. In the plot twist of the century, the resistance leader isn't Zelda, and is instead this new character named Lana. And spoilers, she's the best thing about this game. Lana's a sorceress, and she comes from the same magical clan as the villain, Sia. Sia was supposed to watch over the balance of the Triforce, but she grew curiosity in Link. Ganon saw this as an opportunity to strike and warped her curiosity into a complete obsession. Now, Sia will stop at nothing to get Link, if you know what I mean. This isn't some schoolgirl crush either, she's got pictures of Link everywhere around her palace, and her room is almost like some weird love shrine. It honestly reminds me of Helga from A. Arnold, and you know what? I think this is a schoolgirl crush. But Sia's also under Ganon's influence, so she's also trying to resurrect Ganon by finding the full fragments of his soul scattered around time. And so, it's up to our heroes to stop Sia and Ganon and bring peace to Hyrule. Yeah, you should not be playing this game for the story. The story of Hyrule Warriors is pretty much just really entertaining fan fiction. It's just so dumb that you really can't help but love it. The villains feel kinda out of place too, they honestly feel like rejected Dynasty Warriors characters. Wizard looks like generic wizard ghost thing. I have dubbed Volga as Firecorn, and Sia has a little too much plot for a Zelda game. The other new characters actually do feel like Zelda characters though. I really like the designs of Zelda and Ganon in this game. I don't know why, they just feel more like warriors, which makes sense for, you know, Hyrule Warriors. And this Link just looks totally badass. That is a goddamn legendary scarf. I want one. Like, seriously, I didn't pre-order the Wii U version, where do I buy one of these? Although, a weird quirk about this game is the lack of voice acting. Up to this point, Zelda games have been completely text-based. Except for the CDI games, but I like to pretend those don't exist.
My boy!
After coming off of Breath of the Wild, the lack of voice acting feels weird. The text auto-advances too, so you can't even read it at your own pace. There was also text boxes that show up during gameplay, and due to the lack of voice acting, I skipped a lot of it because I'm too busy playing the game. Luckily, none of the text during gameplay is important, so you won't really miss much by skipping it. There is narration in between chapters, but it would have been nice if there was more of it. The gameplay is a real show, and it's honestly pretty self-explanatory. You match the Y button, you kill a bunch of guys, you capture keeps, you beat the chapter, you move on till credits. Your enemies aren't threatening in the slightest either. Like, just watch this. Okay guys, take a pot shot at me. This one's on the house. Any takers? No? Oh, that guy hit me. Let's kill him anyway. Because of this, you can just plow through zombie apocalypse levels of enemies without even trying. But your allies are just as useless, so if you want something done, you'll have to do it yourself. You can capture keeps to increase your army size, which really helps take out smaller enemies. But you also have objectives to complete. So the question starts to become, should I focus on the objective, or should I capture keeps to give my army the upper hand? Or maybe I can rescue this one guy. Hey, Gold Skullshell appeared. Oh, but wait, I need to be over here. Oh my god, I need to be everywhere at once. Luckily, you can. Legends introduces the ability to swap between characters on the fly, and you can command the characters you're not playing as. So in the 3DS and Switch versions, they give you the tools to multitask like a one-man band that also juggles knives. There's a surprising amount of strategy in this game that seems so basic and button matching on the surface. Not only that, but you can also use items to find secrets and collectibles like golden skullshells and hold containers. You're not only encouraged to strategize about each map and how to go about it, but you also encouraged to explore everything and find all its secrets. This is a simple game at its core, but it's so much more than that. The basics though, this is way more fun and satisfying than it might look. You feel so damn powerful battling through hordes of enemies with ease, and with all the rock conditions of Zelda tunes playing in the background, you get such an adrenaline rush from it. The combos in this game are flashy as hell and are just awesome to look at. You can also press X to do different attacks instead of just matching Y, which adds some much needed variety to this button mashing combat. There's also a special meter that builds up as you do damage that lets you do a special attack that does a lot of damage to a lot of enemies. If you happen to find magic jewels, you'll fill up the magic meter that can put you into a stronger state and end with a really powerful attack. Alternatively, you can use up the rest of your magic to do a different attack instead. When I'm in magic mode, I just wait until the meter runs out, but the option is there if you're in need of a desperation move. While most enemies are less threatening than pacifist Goombas, there are also some stronger enemies in the mix. If you wait for them to let their gold down, you can chip away their gold meter, and if you break it, you do a ton of damage to them. You also occasionally have to fight giant bosses that you can't damage until you hit them with their weakness item. You can have other playable characters fight by you against these giant bosses for special bonuses. More experience, regenerating magic, doing more damage, stuff like that. Enemies drop materials and rupees, which can be used as a bazaar in between chapters to upgrade your characters. And if you don't feel like experience grinding, you can spend rupees for experience instead. Although throughout the story, I never really needed to level up any more than I already was. Even when I spent rupees to level up, I didn't really feel like it helped that much during the main adventure. Legends introduced a lot of new stuff to make this game even better. There's the aforementioned character switching for one. During battle, you can now switch between up to 4 characters on the fly. When they're not being controlled, you can command them to do things like taking out powerful enemies, going to a specific place, or taking a keep. However, like the non-controllable allies, they don't really contribute much, so you'll have to switch over to them if you want something done before Half-Life 3 releases. Character switching was the best new feature added into Legends, and it really helps with the repetitive nature of this game. You end up playing as different characters more often, which are all unique by the way, and it just makes the game more fun to play. And with different characters being in different places on the map, it really helps you control what's happening on the battlefield. In the Wii U version, there was no way to warp around the map, so running around got kind of annoying after a while. Luckily, they added owl statues that you can warp to with your ocarina, which really helps with backtracking. My favorite chapters in the game were the ones that made full use of character switching. Like the one DLC mission where you had to protect Sia from a witch that was trying to steal her powers, and you had to constantly swap between your characters to take down threats at different parts of the map. Or the one during the Ganon arc, which I'm getting into later, where Lana ends up splitting into 3 different clones for herself, and you have to make sure that every one of your characters is tracking one of them. During this section, I thought I put myself into an impossible situation because I had to be everywhere at once, and Zan and Gilhim were on the opposite end of the map. And after a dozen or so tries and changing up my strategy, I was still able to defeat all 3 of them before any of the clones got to their escape zones. It felt amazing that I was actually able to finish the chapter against the odds, and it was one of the most engaging experiences I've ever had with a game. Unfortunately, this character swapping mechanic leads to my only real issue with this game. You can command characters to do certain things while you're not playing as them, but the AI in charge of this has an infuriating tendency to completely ignore what you tell them to do. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's just often enough that I ended up babysitting the AI on the minimap to make sure they were actually doing what they were supposed to do. Zant, I told you to go after that Lana clone. Why are you running in the opposite direction? Fi, I told you to go after your keep. Why are you just standing there? I never ran into this problem in Fire Emblem Warriors, but it's a shame they didn't improve this for the definitive edition on Switch. And if you didn't know, the Switch version has co-op, which is great. The Switch version of co-op runs at a pretty smooth frame rate and is pretty playable now, unlike what it was on Wii U. Co-op's implementation, however, is completely asinine. Every time you want a friend to join you, you have to click the left analog stick on the character select. This doesn't sound so bad, but let's say you're doing a bunch of adventure missions with a friend. Every time you start a new mission, you have to click the left analog stick again. And you probably forget to do it sometimes, so you have to wait for the game to load so you can back out and activate co-op mode. And not only that, but player 1 picks player 2's character. This is so dumb. It's not a huge deal for me because I don't play co-op much, but if you play a lot of co-op, be prepared for a lot of small annoyances. I really wish I had wireless play as well. Co-op only had split screen. Imagine being able to bring your Switch over to a friend's house and make progress on both players' save files. Plus being able to both have your own screen and still have the better performance of the Switch version. That'd be sweet. Also, you can go into a sprint if you keep moving and go longer distances. Originally, this was my biggest issue with the game. There was no way to just immediately sprint. It turns out that I'm an idiot. If you hold down the dodge button, you can immediately start sprinting. It took me almost 3 playthroughs of Hyrule Warriors, plus an entire playthrough of Fire Emblem Warriors to figure this out. During the last mission of the game, I accidentally figured out how to do this. I have no idea how I missed this fact, because I was talking to a friend about it, and he knew how to do it when he was obsessed with the Wii U version. So I hope others don't suffer an issue that wasn't even there like I did for so long. Luckily, these flaws are pretty minor issues, and didn't really affect my enjoyment of the game much. When it comes to playable characters, there's a lot of variety here. There's melee attackers, range attackers, light characters, heavy characters. There's a character running playstyle here. And none of them are clones. Like seriously, there's 4 different Links to play as, and none of them are remotely similar to one another. There's even characters from throughout the series. There's Rudo, there's Medley, there's Fi. You can even play as Agatha. Yeah, the bug lady from Twilight Princess. It's not like I forgot about her or anything, but I never expected her to be in another game except for maybe a Smash trophy or something. The weirdest part about her is that she's actually good. You can even play as all the game's villains, which is cool as hell. Some characters have different weapon classes as well. With the different weapons, these characters have new playstyles to the point where they might as well be a new character. There isn't a single character that I don't like either. They're all good. Why is young Link so cute in this game though? Aw, who's a cute little hero of time? You are. Yes, you are. My favorite character has to be Lana. I don't know why, I just really like her playstyle. Also, if this post doesn't convince you that she's the best character, I don't know what will. The DLC characters still need to be unlocked, but all the characters from the base game, plus Linkle, are unlocked right from the start. It's nice not having to re-unlock characters, even though I didn't unlock most of them before. The fan service in this game is through the roof, though. Whoops, wrong kind of fan service. Like at one point, there was this time rift that brings over characters from Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword, and some weird fanfiction crossover that's cool as hell. Any excuse that lets me play as Gyuhim, Rudo, and Minda in the same game. But there's a ton of references and callbacks to other games in this series, other than the characters and locations. Like how that in order to stop a dragon from attacking the palace of Twilight, you have to summon a great fairy to drop the Majora's Mask mood onto it. If this was how I died, I would not be disappointed. Also, how do they make the Ocarina of Time Great Fairy attractive? N64 graphics were the stuff of nightmares sometimes. There's even rock covers of a lot of popular Zelda tracks, and they all sound great. I never realized how much Skyloft needed guitars. A lot of these remixes almost sound like fan covers, which at this point just makes Hyrule Warriors feel like a AAA fan game. There's even an oak in the game where you get to play as Ganon. After C has been defeated, shocking I know, it turns out that pulling the Master Sword broke the seal on the last piece of Ganon's soul, and is now back at full power. Then you play a few chapters where he, Gyuhim, and Zant team up to take over Hyrule. You just play as the villains as you undo everything you spent the first half of the game doing. It's way cooler than watching a few cutscenes or having a forced loss mission. Although Ganon probably wouldn't have been brought back to full power if Link hadn't pulled the Master Sword, but whatever. Fanfiction. But as someone who never bought any of the DLC or Legends, I bought the Switch version solely for the DLC and it did not disappoint. First up is Linkle's Tale, which stars Linkle, who's very obviously supposed to be a female Link. Wait, hold up. With how many gender swaps there are of Link on the internet, they came up with this? In the same game that gave us Sia? I'm actually pretty impressed. I didn't think Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja had so much restraint. Anyways, Linkle is but a simple cucko farmer. After learning that Hyrule Castle has been taking over, she dons her own green tunic because she's convinced that she's secretly the legendary hero. Because her grandmother told her she was. This is so wholesome. She's also got this magical compass that doesn't really do much, but whatever. Go nuts, kid. Linkle sets off to Hyrule Castle, takes a wrong turn, and her compass gets stolen by Skull Kid of all things. Linkle's Tale is only a few side missions, but it's pretty entertaining regardless. The best part about this is playing as Linkle, who's easily one of my favorite characters now. It's a fun little side story, and that's good enough for me. In Sia's Tale, you play through most of the game through Sia's perspective. You see how she met up with the other villains, and just generally see the game from the villain's perspective. I always appreciate being able to play as a villain, so this is a nice way of doing it. There's a few side missions like Linkle's Tale, but it's still cool to be able to play from the villain's perspective. Finally, there was the Wind Waker post-game. It's not technically post-game because the credits haven't rolled yet, but it does go past where the original went to. After peace is restored and Hyrule goes back to normal, another time rift opens. This time is Wind Waker. Jeez, what's up with this version of Hyrule? Every time you think it's saved, it just all goes to hell again. Whatever, man, any excuse to meet up with Wind Waker characters. And oh my god, just listen to these fantastic Bulgarian title screen remixes. This all gets the actual full ending to the game, which is a much better ending than the original. I haven't even talked about the real meat of this game yet. Adventure mode. On each map, each tile is a mission that you can do. Doing these missions will get you various rewards like whole containers, even new characters and weapons. Sometimes you can get rewards by getting an A rank on a mission, which really increases the replay value. Some tiles even need you to use items on squares to unlock even more stuff. After playing this more, I really like this mode. On the map originally included in the Wii U version, you play through what's essentially a Hyrule Warriors version of the original Legend of Zelda. All the secrets were even in the same places. There's tons of new characters to unlock in this mode, and this one map could easily net you another 50 to 100 hours of playtime. And now there are 9 of them. If you don't mind the repetitive nature of this game, you can easily get around 500 hours of playtime from this one mode alone. The Switch version comes with all the DLC included, and it's amazing how much content is just in this one mode. They're not just cookie-cutter maps either, they added enough to each map to make them all feel unique. Like the Koholint map has you collecting instruments to wake the windfish, the Great Sea map has you removing headwinds, and the 2-minute map has a time limit. Okay, I don't know what sick bastards came up with this idea, but this is simultaneously the best thing since sliced bread, and the worst thing since cancer. If you're willing to put time into it, you will get a lot of bang for your buck with these adventure maps. Going for 100%, you're gonna be here for ages. I obviously didn't though, I'm not the completionist. He 100% of the Wii U version prior to DLC, and he's going to 100% the Switch version. I really question that guy's sanity sometimes. Oh man, there's 3 versions, which one should I get? Short answer, Switch. Long answer, you should really get the Switch version. Now that the definitive edition is out, there is no reason for the other versions to exist. It includes all the content for both the Wii U and 3DS versions, plus all the DLC. So unless you don't have a Switch, there is no reason why you shouldn't get the definitive edition at this point. It even has better performance and resolution in Dark Mode, and has Breath of the Wild costumes with Link and Zelda. And if you like Hyrule Warriors, you might as well pick up Fire Emblem Warriors too. They were pretty similar games, it's just Fire Emblem instead of Zelda. As someone who's played both, I personally prefer Hyrule Warriors. There was clearly a lot more love and care put into this game that Fire Emblem Warriors was lacking. You can't really go wrong with either game. While they are different games, if you like one, you'll probably like the other. Hyrule Warriors is one of my favorite Zelda games, and it's not even a Zelda game. The game is just so much fun to play, and there is so much content that is still worth the $60 even now. There was so much content added to this game over the years, and I'm really glad I finally got to play it all. And by all, I mean everything but most of the adventure maps. I'm not made of free time. Every character is fun to play as, and while it can feel like a button masher at times, I was having way too much fun to care. There was just so much love and care put into this game, and it's something that any Zelda fan can enjoy. Any game that lets me drop the moon onto my enemies gets an A in my book. This has been that Flame Assassin guy, and in my eyes, this was the Wii U Zelda game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next mission.